Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking to you about having a sense of belonging. Now, I'm going to focus on it within the context of people, of human beings interacting with one another, and I'm just going to go through and outline just how crucial it is. Now, what does it mean to have a sense of belonging? Take a moment, pause the video, and write your thoughts in the comment section below, and we can continue. So, having a sense of belonging is vital. It's, I believe, the root of who we are as human beings. Because it doesn't matter who you are or if you think that you can make it out in the world by yourself, irrespective of what others think of you, that's just not true. As human beings, it's who we are. I genuinely believe, at least, that we're biologically wired to depend on one another. You're not going to make it out in this world on your own. And unfortunately, at a certain level, we do need to belong to people. That regardless of who they are, we need to belong. We need to have that sense that we have what you can say is a tribe. So the sense of belonging is just belonging to a group of people who share similar ideologies, who push you to be a better person, who are your cheerleaders when you're making progress or you're going through the process of achieving something great. It's vital. Don't ignore it. Don't say that you don't need it, because you do. Now, how valuable and how important is it to have a sense of belonging? Well, to outline that, let's take a look at the negative aspect of having a sense of belonging. Now, if you look at a lot of, you can say, communities, or just anywhere in the world, really. So it's not a specific community, it's just really anywhere in the world where there's groups of bad people, right? And it's really weird how it's always the groups of bad people who have mastered the art or the skill of being able to project that sense of belonging to people. And it just always works out for them somehow. I don't know how, but those bad people take people who feel like they're being ostracized by, be it family, friends, community, whatever, and they give them a safe haven, right? They're like, hey, we're your friends. We're going to stand by you. We're going to support you, this and that. So they bring them in to their fold. And now this individual who was just lost on their journey through life, as we all tend to get lost from time to time, but they were unfortunate to be on the receiving end of bad people who gave them a sense of belonging. They gave them a sense of community, of friendship, and as a result of that, long term, I mean, you probably see it everywhere on the news. From time to time, you see how good people end up running with the wrong crowd, and as a result of that, they get into a lot of trouble. And it's because they've mastered the ability to give others who, granted, are misguided and are on the prowl by themselves, thinking they can make it out in the world by themselves. They're like, this is probably a bad example, but they're like a lone sheep wandering around the wolves. And it's one of those things where, oh, toss me to the wolves, I'll come back the leader of the pack. Yeah, that's not the case. One of two things happens. Either you get devoured by the wolves, or you get turned into one of the wolves in a bad way, not in a good way. So that's why it's so crucial and important for us as a community, regardless of what community you're in, regardless of it, if it's just within the context of being in school, if it's within the context of religious, like a religious approach to it. You need to have the ability to provide a sense of belonging to people. especially those individuals who are still growing up, who are still trying to figure out their footing in the world. It's pretty tough. It's not easy. And to oftentimes, even if it's self-inflicted, even if it's just them with their own thoughts, thinking to themselves that they're being ostracized, it's your job as a community to make sure that doesn't happen and that you don't toss them to the wolves. Don't turn it into a gamble, because this sense of belonging, it's not up for sale. You don't sell it. Unfortunately, it's sort of like a comfort zone or a quote-unquote safe space where once people have it, once they've latched onto that tribe, very rarely do they let go. And even if it's bad for them, by the way, very rarely do they let go. So you really need to, just as an individual, really pay attention to how you establish that sense of belonging with what group, in what way, and just overall as a community, do your best to provide that for the individuals who are just feeling lost in life. Now, for some people it's tough. For some people they're stubborn and they're keen on, I don't want to say just going about life on their own, but it's one of those things where they got to be within, let's say, arm's reach of a community that they're familiar with, that they sort of feel like they have a sense of belonging to. Now, for those individuals, what you'll want to do is you'll need to cultivate your own sense of belonging. Now, how are you going to do that? Well, it's very simple. You are going to create a standard for your circle. The circle of people that you spend time with, doesn't matter at what level, be it acquaintances, be it family, friends, coworkers, whatever it might be. You create a standard for that. You accept nothing less. Meaning, if you're given the choice between hanging out with two different people, and one of them is normal, whatever it might be, go to the beach, go to a restaurant, a store, whatever it is, or the other one is, there's a chance you could get into some trouble with them. You keep those bad people out of that circle, and you only let people of some sort of value into that circle, but you're in control of it. So this is going to have to take more of a leadership role on your part for yourself. You're going to need to be really strict with it. And, it's one of those things where ultimately you need to be the hero of your own story. Nobody else is the hero of your own story. Doesn't matter who it is, a mother, father, sibling, best friend, whatever it might be, whatever label that you think you can throw on somebody that'll give it some sort of value, irrelevant. You are the hero of your own story, meaning you need to take care of your circle. You need to take care of who you allow yourself to be influenced by, and so on. And with that being said, you need to have your best interest in mind and ultimately be the trailblazer in your own life. Have your best interest in mind. It's okay to be stubborn, but you need to set that standard, and you need to go through life with the people you interact with. And just know, a sense of belonging, oftentimes it works both ways, but more often than not, it's us reaching for it. And even if we don't consciously think about it, it's in who we gravitate towards the most. You have people out there who gravitate towards bad people for some reason. Subconsciously, they've determined that that's their sense of belonging. It's whatever it is, whatever thrill that comes with being with that group is their sense of belonging. There's other people who gravitate towards amazing individuals who there is a thrill with it based on whatever adventures they might go on. Like, for example, it's a heck of a lot better to go skydiving or diving in the ocean, as opposed to hanging out with the wrong crowd on a porch somewhere who has been known to engage in bad stuff. So keep that in mind. And I just want to leave you off with, keep your best interest in mind. I can't emphasize this enough. A lot of people, unfortunately, don't understand it. And they might think it's being selfish, but when in reality is, even if it is being selfish, there's nothing wrong with that. When you're the best version of yourself, you can be the best thing, best individual for other people. You help yourself, you can help others. But it doesn't work the other way around. You don't get to be the worst version of yourself and expect to be surrounded by people who are the best versions of themselves. You don't want to do that to yourself. So with that said, have an awesome day.